Hey guys, Infidel 1258. In this video, myself and Isaac, one of my TNA brothers, are going to get together and we're going to talk about the new Conqueror Jacek. We're going to talk about how he's going to fit into the meta, maybe how he's going to redefine the meta, compare him to some of the greatest legendary summoners in this game. And it's a great conversation, so stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. Have an amazing day. God bless.
What do you think of the new summoner replacing Kitty?
I mean, Kitty is... Okay, so right now we're watching a Kitty match, and I was just feeling like nostalgic for my Kitty. But yeah, man. So in my opinion, the most powerful thing about Kitty is not the True Strike, which is amazing, but it's not the tank heal. It's definitely 100% for sure the speed. And so much so that when I had a Kitty, I would play Kitty even when there was no heal available, like when the rule set excluded heals. And it, like, speed can be so powerful that you win regardless. Like they literally can't hit you. Like, I mean, if you got phase and dodge and 10 or 11 speed, you literally will not be struck. And so it doesn't matter if you can't be healed. And so to me, Kitty is the most powerful thing about Kitty is absolutely the 2+2 speed. And from that perspective alone, Conqueror Jacek comes in with the +2 speed. And I'd say that makes Conqueror Jacek a strong contender. Now, Kitty's a dragon and Jacek is a fire. And that means that, you know, dragon is going to get at least half as many cards over, right? Like, because you're going to choose your main Splinter and then you're going to get another 50% card buff from like the dragons available to you. And that would make a Kitty team almost necessarily superior to a fire alone team. But like, I really say, like, just summoner to summoner, it's a strong supplement, if not a replacement. I'm not going to say it's a replacement. Kitty is powerful but even things like Scattershot is kind of an answer to Kitty too, because that you can't tank heal if I'm not even hitting your tank. And also the True Strike of Kitty, which is of course powerful and we like to have it. If your main ability is +2 speed, I'm going to argue that True Strike is not even all that helpful because it's
a little redundant,
right? It's a little redundant. And so those are I probably have more to say about that, but I'd love to let you step in there and like run with whatever side of that you want to go with. But I do think Kitty still has her own place, but I definitely think Jacek is going to be very strong.
Yeah, Jacek to me he's low key just ridiculous when you really start thinking about playing him. Like, you look at the Kitty, you look at, you know, some of these other, like, so much of the meta right now is tank based, right? Like, you throw your tank, you throw your meat wall up front, and you put your damage behind. And yet Scattershot's not been great so far, but there seems to be enough blast options that Fire can play, right? That if they're playing blast on Scattershot with higher speed than you and ignoring your tank and having piercing behind it, so that your little guys that have a couple armor like aren't getting away with anything, like they're taking full damage, man, it seems like that much Scattershot may hit a critical mass where it goes first, it blasts you, and by the time your team gets to go, you just don't have a back line. You might just have a tank sitting there waiting to die. Like that's what I'm waiting to see. It could be ridiculous. And even piercing, like if you put something like Grom up front, right? Like, say you have a big mana battle, and now you've got that 11 cost guy with Void Armor, Void, just at silver, right? Void Armor, Void. Now he's not got 1 speed, now he's got 3, and he's going to pierce with all of that damage to get his Bloodlust going. I mean, it just seems like this guy in so many ways fits into the red team. Like, he hit, like, all 3 of those abilities seem good. Like, where, like, Wraith, like, is cool, but at silver and gold, you really don't use Thorn, like, the Amplify too much on the new Life Summoner. So,
yeah, I agree. And with respect to Grum in particular, One of the things I like about Jacek is that the piercing damage, because Grum, when I like playing Grum as a solo, I will do that fairly regularly. Like just a one tank, my one card, and then just let him hopefully go Bloodlust Beast mode and win it for me. But if you run into any sort of, for instance, even there's a fire repair team that I like to have better than that. Like if you have the I'm gonna forget it right now. He's got piercing, he's a fire tank, he's a Chaos Legion.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I had one earlier, but
Forgotten One. Forgotten One. He's got the piercing damage, he's got big damage, he's got Retaliate. This card with its base armor and like a little a repair monster in the back row can go 1v1 on Grum and win every time, because Retaliate, because the armor, because of the no piercing on the Grum, and because with 9 hit points you can throw a repair monster in the back line from the fire team. There's a couple different ones. There's that generic one for 3 mana, and there's the fire is like 1 mana cost. Where is he? There he is, Flame Monkey with repair. So you could do Flame Monkey with the repair and that Forgotten One, and I would say that's going to win every time against Grum, except now because you're going to equip your Grum with piercing, and I think that changes things. And maybe it still goes to Forgotten One because of the Retaliate, but I'm saying piercing is a really significant contribution to both. I love it. And one more thought on that. You talked about the scatter shot, you talked about the blast. That's cool. I love it. You're right. But I also love it. We've talked about Grum, but just broadly, I love it from a melee perspective too. Like just forget about the scatter shot and just go like a sneak, opportunity, tank, sneak, opportunity type build, and Scattershot becomes irrelevant, but you still got that piercing, and you've got beasts like the Serpentine Spy dropping 4s, and you've got maybe you got a high level Cobalt Miner. I mean probably you guys don't because it's an older card, but I mean certainly a lot of people do. And there's melee monsters, and you can go neutral too. And you can get a crazy sneak play and and that speed is still there, and the piercing combo. I love that.
Yeah. So what I'm looking at when I look at the new summoner is I'm looking at the summoners I would want to play it against, right? And I'm just looking at reset. Like General Sloan is typically throw a tank up front, have a lot of weak range creatures on the back, right? Well, you throw up shield, something with taunt to protect your range fighters. Well, Scattershot's going to destroy that. Kindle Frit, the new water summoner, Kylie, that 1 armor is normally pretty good to give everybody that 1 extra hit they can take. Well, now that's gone because you've got piercing. Kitty, you've got tank kill and you've got 2 speed. Well, I matched your 2 speed, and now I've got Scattershot, so I don't care about your tank. You're looking at a Grandmaster Raise +1 and Void Armor and Amplify. Well, I've got +2 speed and I've got piercing for that armor, and I'm probably going around your tanks that you're trying to armor repair or whatever, which seems to be the main strategy with that. Like so many of these summoners, you're just like, yeah, I want to play this into these good summoners that it seems. I mean, when you're talking about a card that can maybe counter Kitty and replace Jotun in some builds, that seems like a pretty powerful card I'm keeping my eye on right now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, me too. I've said it before, and I stand by it, that I don't think we fully know, like I alluded to earlier, the meta takes time to be recognized. These new summoners, including Grandmaster Wraith, I don't know that we fully understand how they are going to fit in, because recognize that in like 2 weeks time, we're getting a whole new set of cards. That's going to dramatically change the power and effectiveness and the synergies that exist. of Wraith and of Jacek, and frankly of every summoner and every monster. So there's going to be entirely new, amazing synergies that we can't possibly imagine. And there is a possibility that, in fact, I think it's a pretty distinct possibility that one or two of these new Chaos Legion summoners will be the new Kitty or Jotun or Scarred Llama of like tomorrow, and it's not going to be known yet. So they're going to come out and they're going to be sold for 20 or 30 bucks. And it's going to take time, like I said, for people to start utilizing in that way that's so broken. And then everyone's going to talk about how broken it is. And then it's going to start to get adopted by everyone and by them, the bots, and it becomes ubiquitous. And then that's when the price starts going soaring. And that's when I think these $20 or $30 cards could be hundreds of dollars. But it's too early to know. I only am speculating that is possible, and even maybe probable for one or two of them. Now, I don't think it's going to happen for all of them. Some of them are going to be the kind of the odd men out that are just, they're not as powerful. But I already love Grandmaster Wraith, and I already like the looks of Conqueror Jacek. And if the other ones are in keeping, and how could they not be? Like, one of them is going to be Dragon, guys. Dragon is almost by definition the best summoner because of how it interplays and how you can drop it with so many different cards. And it's going to be of this ilk. Holy cow, guys. I don't even know what it's going to be, but I'm so excited to see that Dragon summoner.